I literally love her so much. Like, she's so cute. She's just like laying there. Hello, miss. He's so cute. I love her so much. She's like literally the cutest thing. Oh my god. Hello, you sit up? Oh, is it time to stretch and then you lay back down, right? That is what she's been doing. I mean, she's a very flop kitty. I do want to say that, but she's also on antibiotics. Oh, you like your butt scratch. She's also on antibiotics, and I think those are making her more lethargic than she would be otherwise. But she is a flop cat. All we want is to take long, long naps. That's right, lay back down. Mm. She's purring so loud. Am I annoying you? When I came home, when we left, I had to go take my boyfriend to work. When we left, she was in her box because I brought her a cardboard box. I also got her treats and like another scratching post just because like Kitty should have multiple scratching posts and I want to spoil her. She likes the treats. No interest in the scratching post yet, but like at some point, brought her the cardboard box, immediately just got in and went to sleep and spent like 3 hours in the box. But when I got home, she was asleep on the sofa, which makes me happy because yesterday when I left, both times, she was underneath the sofa. And it's just, it seems like she's feeling a little bit more relaxed here. Just, like, she's obviously quite relaxed. She's just, like, needing the blanket before she goes back to sleep. But, when we've left her here alone before, she's like gone to hide under the sofa, and I think she does that because she's a little bit nervous and there aren't many places in the apartment to hide. But today she was just like on the back of the sofa. So I love her. I have gotten literally no reading done since we got her. Today is day 3 of the kitty. I love her so much. Like, why would I Oh, hi. Why would I read something when I can just stare at her? Like, my boyfriend and I haven't even been watching anything. We just, like, stare at her most of the time because she's so cute and we love her so much. But yes, the kitty is my life and she is gorgeous. Yeah? You gonna put your tail on me? I love you. She does not give a fuck how much you touch her. The only thing so far that she hasn't liked is getting her medicine, which, like, we have to shoot. Oh, hello, Miss Purr. We have to put like half a milliliter of liquid in her mouth twice a day, so like, no wonder she doesn't like that. She scratched me a little bit, but I'm pretty sure it was an accident. That's okay. I'd be mad too if people were putting nasty liquid in my mouth. She's so sweet. I am cooking at the boyfriend's. We're making orange tofu. He also brought back potato skins from the restaurant just because those are super tasty. He brought them back the other day too, and like we really shouldn't make a habit of eating those because those are just like potatoes and grease, but they're quite tasty. We're trying not to eat much food from his restaurant. I mean, I say his, the restaurant where he's working, just because it's a bar, so they have a lot of bar food, like a lot of fried stuff, and it's quite tasty. I mean, they don't have a lot of vegetarian stuff for me, but like it's like potato skins and veggies and grilled cheese. Like that's pretty much what he can bring me, which is all very tasty and I appreciate it. But it does mean that like when he gets off work at midnight and comes home and like it means I have to cook. So I'm cooking while he's like gone to the store to get cigarettes. It doesn't look super tasty now just cuz like it's only partially made, but that is going to be the sauce for the orange tofu. Once I like stir it up, there's just like a giant glob of like crystallized honey in the middle. And then the tofu is cooking. It's got like another 20 minutes left probably. I like to burn my tofu slightly just because it makes it all crispy on the outside. And then over there is the sweet little kittylicious who's just hanging out. I gave her a little bit of catnip, so she's just the tiniest bit stoned right now. But she's so sweet. Kitty Wolf. She loves me. I am very nearly done with Scythe. I have like 50 pages left and I'm so over this book. Like, don't get the hype. Not at all. I thought it was going to be like Vicious, where I was like, this isn't my thing, but I still enjoy it. Like, I still think it's a well done story. I think the writing is good. No, I really dislike Scythe. I think it's awful, pretty much. Um, which, I mean, is not to shame anyone who does like it, 'cause, like, different strokes for different folks. I am quite unhappy reading this book. I'm very glad it'll be over. I won't be continuing on with the series. I won't be. Thank you for your tale. I won't be reading Thunderhead or whatever the third one is. Nothing makes sense in this world. There's no government. Like, there are no specific governments, but there are different regions that all have like different laws, and it doesn't make sense. It's very annoying. So, library trip, just to return The Hate You Give by Andrew Thomas, which I really wanted to read, and I thought I was going to be able to renew it, but people had it on hold, and it was due today, and I have to return it. I will definitely check it out later, though. Like, hopefully later this summer I'll get a chance to read it, because I really do want to read it. Like, genuinely, I want to read this book. I just thought I was going to have more time than I wound up having. So, returning this, I'm not going to get anything unless I have a hold that's come in, which I might, because it's kind of like getting close to the end of the month, and that's normally when my holds seem to come in. I am at my boyfriend's. I've been at my boyfriend's for a minute, as you can probably tell from my footage. I'm hanging out here with my kitty, who is not in the shot because she's on her little tiny scratching post that I got her, and she can look out the window, and she's so happy. I love her. She's such a sweet kitty, and she's gotten like more active and energetic and stuff, and like playful since she's gotten a lot better. Her cold is at this point mostly gone. She still sneezes on occasion, but she doesn't have a runny nose, and her eyes don't water anymore. So that's absolutely lovely. We're just finishing up her antibiotics. I am reading Tempest and Slaughter by Tamara Pierce, which is good. I don't really know what to say about it. It's a weird experience just because I've been so spoiled for this book, and it feels so natural to be spoiled, and like most of what I know about this book and like the way I experience it is so tied to those spoilers. It was published after another series she has, which takes place like 15-20 years later, with one of the main characters of this, and it's like weird that like they'll introduce a new character and it's like, oh, hello person, you get turned into a tree in 15 years, and like literally, ooh, kitty, she's so good. And it's like I know what's going to happen, and I know how these things are tied together, and it's weird because I don't know how to like recommend reading these books anymore, because like the Immortals Quartet is written as though you don't know Numaire's backstory, because that's just the way it's written, because when it was written there was nothing about Numaire's backstory. That was the first time he was ever introduced as a character. But in this book, if you read that before you read this, then you just get so completely spoiled for literally everything. And it's not even like a bad thing in most ways. It's just a weird experience. But I don't know, like not a bad experience, it's just different. But if you read this first, I feel like that'd be weird, because it's like there are just so many little references and little, not jokes, but just like little points that are like amusing because I know what's going to happen, and like they feel very intentional. And I feel like it would be awkward to read this one first and then read the Immortals Quartet, but you'll just get completely spoiled for literally everything if you read the Immortals Quartet first. So like, oh no, but I like it. It's really fun, and I don't know, I'm really enjoying it. I'm like almost done. I knew I was gonna like it because I like Tamara Pierce, so yeah, really fun time. And I have, oh, don't die. I have a package. I got book mail. I know what this is, but I'm gonna open it real quick because it's gonna be loud. Rachel from Book Boop sent me Green by Ted Dekker because she really loves Ted Dekker, and I have not read anything by him yet, but I've been slowly collecting like I think this is called the Circle trilogy. The Circle. This is book 0, which is called The Beginning and the End. It's green. It's like the prequel, I think. I'm not exactly sure how to read them, but I think I have all the books now, and I'm very excited. And now I don't have an excuse not to read them, but I am excited because I've been looking forward to reading these books. I think these were recommended to me by one of my creative writing professors in college, and I've been putting them off because I know they're like Christian fiction in a way. I do think these are less Christian fiction than Ted Decker's other works. Thematically, I do know that there is heavy Christian influence to this, and just like with the ideas of it. So I've been kind of like hesitant because of that, but I also know it's supposed to be really good. I was hesitant because I'm not Christian. I'm not religious, in case that was not abundantly clear. But I have heard like really wonderful things, and I do want to try it at some point. Just because like I've heard good things, and I know it's supposed to be like really wonderful, but I just need to pick them up at some point, because I do think I'll like them. It deals with time travel, parallel universes, something like that. I don't know, I'm kind of afraid to read the back. I don't actually know what order I'm supposed to read these in, because it was originally a trilogy before this book was published. And this is like both the beginning and the end, so I think it's kind of intended to function as either. But the series is weird. But yeah, very excited, and thank you so much to Rachel at Book Group. I will link her down below. She's absolutely wonderful, and I'm so happy and thankful that she sent me this. And you guys should definitely check her out, because she has a wonderful channel. So today is another library visit. I have 2 books to return that I actually finished and just did film the reviews on and film my wrap-up, so like, they're good to go. The first is Scythe by Neil Shusterman, which I really disliked. Yeah, 2 stars. The review on that will come at some point, and it's not a positive one. And then secondly, Tempest and Slaughter by Tamara Pierce, which on the other hand was wonderful, and I really enjoyed it. Then I have a 3rd book that is it's due in like 2 days, and I haven't started it yet, and I really don't feel like forcing myself through it. It had a bunch of holds, like I didn't get a chance to renew it. I thought I might be able to, but I wasn't. So, the Alice Network is going back to the library after only a couple weeks, which is sad, because like I genuinely want to read this book. It sounds wonderful. I know Linda from Linda's World of Books really enjoys it, and it just sounds like a good book, but it's due, and I don't want to just like force myself to binge it in 2 days and be like unhappy because I want to do other things. So it's going back, and along with The Hate You Give and Heft by Liz Moore, I will hopefully be picking these up maybe in September. I feel like September is probably when I'll have fewer books from the library out, so that's very sad. And then I have at least 1 to pick up, but hopefully maybe more. So all of my old books were actually in, so I got 3 books, which is kind of annoying but also nice because it means I don't have to come back to the library for like another month. So win-win. The first is Red Sister by Mark Lawrence. This gets so many hyped reviews. So many people love it, even though it's not their genre. Like I see people saying like, oh, I don't read that much adult fantasy, but like this is wonderful, and like I want to read more adult fantasy because I've set a goal to read 15 new fantasy books this year, and all of them have been YA fantasy so far, so adult fantasy is definitely on that list. And then the second book is Kristen Hanna's The Great Alone, which I'm reading for the Literary Alliance Book Club over on Facebook. Yeah, I'm kind of unsure about this just because I have 2 Kristen Hanna books on my shelf that I haven't read, so it makes me nervous to read one from the library first in case I hate it, because then that's kind of a concern. But it's for the book club, so I'm reading it, and hopefully it's as wonderful as everyone else seems to think it is. And then the final one is The Serpent King by Jeff Zintner, which people have liked, maybe. Linda from Linda's World of Books, again, recommended me this after I just returned the Alice Network, which made me disappointed, but this is supposed to be good. I think it's YA, and it's like short, so hopefully this will be like kind of a quick read, and kind of like I think it's like intense, but like easy to read. if that makes sense. So, I don't know. I know nothing about this, honestly. But she recommended it, said it was wonderful, so I put it on hold, and now it's come in, so I will read it. And hopefully I will actually be able to read all my library books this month instead of just return half of them. So, I have not been doing a great job of updating the vlog lately. I played Wizards Unite for like a week after it came out. It was kind of hard to update the vlog doing that just because it took up so much space on my phone that I didn't have much space to record, which was vaguely annoying, but here we are. I've stopped playing it because it got boring after like a week. So yeah, I decided I would do my July TBR because it's now July, it's July 2nd, and I stopped by the library, so I have almost all the books that I'm planning to read in July, and they're all with me at my boyfriend's because I've been spending most of my time here. The two that I'm reading, well, three that I'm reading technically. I just started The Serpent King, which I picked up from the library yesterday. I'm like decently into it, you know, considering I just picked it up and it's good. I felt like kind of an easy YA book to read to start with, and I've started it. It's interesting so far. Like, I don't really have much to say about it, but like, it's interesting that it does deal with classism, and it deals with both sides of that. In this rural small town, there is a girl who is very wealthy and a boy who is very poor, and it kind of deals with both of them, and it does like a decent job at that so far. Like, I'm not very far in, but yeah, really enjoying it so far. And then I'm also reading Dubliners by James Joyce, which I'm not all that far in. You can kind of see my marker. This is going to take me a minute just because it's a short story collection, and I tend to read short story collections very slowly just because I like to read them individually instead of like sitting down and reading like 5 short stories in a row. I'll read like one a day, which means that I just get through these very slowly. So yeah, but I am enjoying it so far. I'm struggling a little, but I think I'm struggling with like the overall meaning of the piece, like its purpose in existing, rather than like understanding what's happening. But it is interesting, and I'm happy that I picked this up. And then onto the book, and I'm also reading Eniara, the poem by Harry Martinson, maybe? I don't know. I'm not really enjoying that too much. Like, I am and I'm not. It's weird. I'm gonna do like a poetry discussion on that, just because I'm like completely clueless. But as for the other books that I plan to get to this month, the only one that I don't have is Under the Banner of Heaven by Jon Krakauer. I'm going to be reading that with the True Crime Read Along, hosted by Cammie's Corner and Joni Reads. So really looking forward to that because I love Jon Krakauer. It's just I have it on hold at the library and it hasn't come in yet, but hopefully soon because I'm first on the list. And I also plan to read Betrayal at Little Gibraltar by William Walker. Don't remember who recommended me this, but looking forward to reading it. It's a World War I nonfiction book, so very interesting. I have to pick it up, and I've just been in a mood where I'm like, I'm not really down to get into a very serious nonfiction World War I book lately, but like it's due this month, so I have to. And then I'm going to be reading Dead Wake by Eric Larson, which is a World War I nonfiction book. This is what my life has turned into. I never read about World War I, and now I'm reading both. But I'm going to be buddy reading this with Cozy Reader Kelly starting in just a few days, and I'm very excited. It sounds interesting. It's about the sinking of the Lusitania. So, yeah, very down. Eric Larson is wonderful, even if I gave the last book of his I read 3 stars. But he's wonderful. And I'm reading Kristen Hanna's The Great Alone for the Literary Alliance Book Club on Facebook, which I'm hesitant about for reasons prior stated, but also very excited because it does get such wonderful reviews, and I'm like seriously here for all the hype for Kristen Hanna because she sounds like someone that I would thoroughly enjoy. And last library book is Red Sister by Mark Lawrence. I hear this get tons of hype, even from people who don't typically read like adult high fantasy, and it's like about like assassin killer nuns, so I don't know, but it sounds not like the kind of thing I would ever pick up, but people say it's wonderful, so I'm here to give it a try. And the whole series is out now, so that like if I start reading this and I'm really enjoying it, I'll probably just get the other 2 from the library. And then finally, for the rereadathon, because as always there are rereadathon books, the prompt is to reread a book from a favorite author, so I am rereading an excessive number of books. The President's Daughter series by Ellen Emerson White, because I love her. I love these books. They're like, this, Long May She Reign, which is the 4th one, is like my favorite book of all time, which is why it's like falling to pieces. It's just like all bent because I've loved it to death, and oh, like it's my favorite. The other 3 are The President's Daughter, White House Autumn, and Long Live the Queen. I don't really remember White House Autumn and Long Live the Queen very well, just because I've only read them once, whereas I've read this one like 8 times, considering it's like a 700-page book. That's impressive. So it would be interesting to get back into these, like not remembering super much about every single book, but I love these. Ellen Emerson White is wonderful, and like I highly recommend these books, like to literally anyone. They're like YA/new adult, because this one takes place when she's like 19 and in college, so like kind of new adult, but the first couple are high school, and just highly recommend. They do cover like more serious topics, but like, oh, they're so wonderful. And Ellen Emerson White is so underrated, like painfully so, and like her books deserve so much more hype and praise than they get. Like, just I love her so much, like genuinely I adore her books. But yeah, this is what I'm reading. I'm so excited for these. Like, I have been holding off on reading these since I bought them for myself at Christmas, just because I knew I was gonna want to reread them for the readathon. And oh, like I'm so genuinely looking forward to just like living in these books for a moment. Pardon the noise, I am blasting my AC because it's 100 degrees outside, but I just picked up Under the Banner of Heaven by Joan Krakauer because we're reading this for crime scene, and it literally came in the day after I picked up the rest of my holds, which is annoying because that meant I had to come all the way out to the library again, which is like an hour round trip, considering I also had to stop by home and go to Walmart. So now I'm going to Walmart, but yeah, we're reading this for crime scene. Looks great. I assume it'll be great. I have no idea what it's about. It's like true crime, but also like religion, and it's Joan Krakauer, so I'm down. But very excited for this one.